Welcome, Aquarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Gemini reading. This is occurring on the 14th of this month, and not only are the sun and moon conjoined in Gemini, but Uranus is also in Gemini, giving a little bit of spice, explosive pop to the conjunction, as if Gemini needed more pop. But also the ruler of Gemini, the active ruler of these planets or deposited Mercury is in Cancer. So this gives a more emotional flavor, building on Jupiter's presence in Cancer for some time now. It's going towards the end of that transit. And so the buildup of emotional intelligence is something that you are finding words for. You're actually exploring the way that words, particularly emotions, are shaping your reality, your intentions, your goals. And there is a breakthrough here. As a reminder, Mercury will be going retrograde at the very end of the month. So this feels like a kind of build-up to a reset that's about to occur towards the end of the month. For most of you that have Aquarius rising, this is impacting you in the area of creativity, the way you create, the way you build, the way you work with peers to create or build something that comes purely from your imagination. So let's start with a yogic path oracle, and I pulled Vishuddha. I believe this is the throat chakra, indeed. And I'm going to read from the guidebook. You came to this world to speak and express, and you're doing so powerfully. Now's the time to let your unique vibration shine. Speak your truth, write your message, sing your soul's language, express your innate art. This is a wonderful time to begin any communication-related project, such as a book, podcast, or business, or to take your existing project to the next level. Throat chakra reminds us to speak our truth, so continue to share what's on your mind with your closest relationships. Remember that it's just as essential to listen as it is to speak, and great communication skills come in mastering both. Listen to those around you to deepen relationships, and listen to those who inspire you to deepen wisdom. Know that most communication is not simply the words spoken, but rather in their expression. This is the time for you to craft your own. I love the emphasis here on the emotional content of your voice, because I do think that's key, and I think that's where the breakthroughs are coming, in such a way that your activation of your voice, your truth, is part of your own healing and ascension of energy. And from the soul's journey, peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. So it's interesting. This is where the breakthrough is coming from. It's coming from an acknowledgement and alignment with love as the greatest ascendant power in your life. So this feels like a gentle breakthrough, as it's occurring as much on the internal level as it is reflected in your environment. So let's start with present energy. Here we have the Chariot. Wow. So the Chariot, as many of you are aware, really indicates a real focus, and as a result of that focus, a kind of rushing forward energy, kind of claiming, being clear-eyed about what your goal is and what you want to accomplish, and then creating the space, the personal boundaries around you that will preserve your attention, not allow you to be distracted. It's in the distraction where your past has at times teased you, nudged you, pulled you away from what your point of focus is now, what your goal is. And you are, I feel, really breaking through that place of uh, consideration of the habits and routines of your past practices. You realize those have sabotaged you in the past. And so you're really clear about what you desire. This is kind of a heart space, in my view, a heart space energy, as Cancer's often associated with the chariot, unusual as that may be. But I think of the the heart actually as providing a kind of protection from the attention grabbing that can happen, that can dilute your will, your creative will here. In the past, the Four of Swords is describing in fact, deep healing process that you have been a part of. And I think one of the interesting things about awareness and knowledge about uh, the ability to heal, to self-heal, to understand our growth as a result of our healing process. This is something you have almost committed. This becomes your spiritual foundation, recognizing, looking at challenges of the past, particularly failures, particularly disappointments, understanding that they are necessarily more numerous than our successes. They have to be. Otherwise, we would never succeed in anything. We have to keep trying, and that's where the real victory comes, in the sense of gratitude for where we are, the sense of gratitude for the opportunities we have, and are excited to move forward towards. So this becomes a foundational practice for everything that you do. In the future, the Two of Wands and the Judgment card, what I'm getting here is the way that you are not just moving forward towards the plan, but building a container for your plan. This is the purpose. This is the call that you have allowed yourself to wake into. And as a result of this sense of service and mission that you are now deeply aligned with, you can make plans. You can look to the future with an idea to greater growth, to those communities, those services, those activities, or associations that are less familiar to you. You have a firm grounding in your skill set, who you are, your ability to be creative, to work with others in an inspired way. And from that basis, you are looking out at possibilities for new growth. These new possibilities must contain opportunities for your growth and expansion. So this expansion is really about feeling out new locations, new communities, new relationships that can show you possibilities that you have been previously unaware of. And this is all to your sense of an expanding mission, an expanding service that you're able to provide. Aquarius, if this reading is resonating for you, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. Thank you to all of you that support me through your presence in whatever way you're able to achieve that. I appreciate it. So the Four of Swords in the past is clarified by the Magician card and the Queen of Swords. Lovely. So this healing practice, this ability to take responsibility for what you've learned from challenges you've endured, the hardship you've endured, is this breaking free of your creative will, this identification and knowledge about who you are separate from the hardships and even the hardships that you've experienced, how you turn those hardships into resources for your growth, and they've helped you put together something that expresses you, that aligns with your vision something that you articulate and are able to share. The magician speaks directly to words, to language, to presentation, to documentation or recording. And this is the chakra in your own being that is opening up, sharing the truth with others. Coupled with the Queen of Swords, this is all about your curiosity, opening up and incorporating what you learn, how you're able to listen to those that you engage with, asking the right questions, not for the purpose of a predetermined idea or theme, but to the purpose of really understanding how your truth relates to the truth of others, the relevance of your vision, the usefulness of your vision, understanding what other people need, a sense of fairness and including other voices in what it is you're planning or creating. So this is really gathering together all the intelligence, all of the input, and creating buy-in in a project. Making sure that all members understand that they operate from a place of strength. That's the input you are desiring here. And that's what you're modeling. What you do well leads, and what others do well complements how each member of the team is able to participate. In the present, the Chariot card is clarified by the Six of Wands and the Three of Cups. Yeah, this feels very, very fluid, like you're part of something that just flows. You have a lot of support for taking the space you need, a lot of support to unravel your own questions, to share what you're learning through the range of experience. This is not just about sharing all the good things you are working on or all the support that you have. This is also about understanding and learning from, in the company of intimates, how best to serve your desire, how best to move forward. And the Six of Wands is indicating, this facility of working with others, of understanding your particular role in this collaborative, in this co-creation. You understand what your part is, and you do that part. You don't let anybody stand in the way. You understand that everybody has their part. And if everyone does what they're responsible for, then the project will necessarily be accomplished, will lead to the achievement you're pursuing. But this also makes you an example, allows you to perform in a way that others admire, understand, appreciate. And this means a lot to you because it feels clear to me that although the purpose of this co-creation is to facilitate your voice, your truth, you understand that it takes a village, that it is necessary in order for this to be authentic, that the process of creating this must be authentic and allow each member in the project, in the team, to receive the credit for their effort. In the future, the Two of Wands and the Judgment card is clarified by, well, I'll take the Hierophant on the top and the Sun card. I'm also going to take the King of Swords because the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords indicates to me a powerful partnership, the possibility of the way in which you are seeking counsel, buy-in, information as you create a team to manage a project, and the way in which you move into a leadership position. And this is telling me you've accomplished what you set out to achieve. The Hierophant is this deeper commitment to your role in this generating information and generating abundance for others. You are something of a mentor, a teacher, even a gatekeeper. The key is here. You have the ability to point others in the right direction. And this feels as though this is in greater recognition of the same creative spark that you are exhibiting through the victory of, or completion or accomplishment of this project that is showcasing your authenticity, your joy in completing this not only product, but the process whereby you achieved it is part of the joy, is part of the playfulness, the appreciation and gratitude for the abundance that surrounds you, and your ability to orchestrate that while bringing everyone into a kind of attention to their illumination. This project brings a lot of light clarity to others. And as a result of that, it brings a lot of joy to others. There's an awful lot here, and it feels successful. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for the outcome. And I have the 8 of Cups and the 9 of Swords. This is talking about the aspect of your breakthrough. Because I do believe that this breakthrough is a little gentler. It's a little bit deeper, and it goes more fundamentally to your fears, to the sense of having been or of escaping a cage. So there is a set of social conditions that have perhaps constrained you in the past, depending on your environment, your situation. There has been a lot of destruction, a lot of suffering, a lot of pain you've endured on this pathway, even as it feels fluid and successful, shiny, gaining attention, positive attention from others. But this has required you to recognize the cage that you were in, the uselessness of the rules that you've always played by, and the strength really to move forward to this level of achievement, significant achievement for you, and that your relationships have been a part of that, have been a part of not only how much you've learned, how familiar these relations, these lessons have come to you, how they've supported you up until now, so that now you're able to move out in front of this. You're able to move on to something that provides greater performance, greater value, greater resourcefulness to others, to the world. And I'm going to finish this up with language of flowers, and I pulled the status, and the keyword is adaptation. Change will be better than you think. Interesting. It seems to me that you're quite comfortable with change, that you've actually orchestrated a lot of personal change into this ability to ascend through your collective or your community. Thank you, Aquarius, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.